Alright, looks like we're live. Hey guys. How's it going? Alright, there was something over here that I was trying to remember what I needed to fix. I think it was... yeah, that needs to move down. Of course, he's going to be super annoying to select. All right. There we go. Actually, can I just... that there? That works. I think eventually I'm probably going to cut this a little bit, but we'll see. Probably won't do that on get to that on the stream or anything like that, but or at least today's stream. There we go. Excuse me. Alright, so today I want to do a little bit more kind of refining of some of these buildings and structures. And actually I forgot to open up my concepts. So I'm gonna open up those real quick. So some of these were gonna be have some of these towers and stuff too. Tower like this, I think I can probably get away with in Pro Builder. These ones I may be able to, but I might just do those in Maya. This one would easily be done in Pro Builder, but I may just keep it consistent and do a lot of those in Maya. Man, my allergies are just kicking in. Hey, Riff Trembling, how's it going? Okay, so let's see, 2-story building with so that one could work for it. I don't have any that are kind of sitting out here in the open. I may end up using that building somewhere else then. But let's look around and start to kind of work some of these elements into these buildings. And we want to use these doorway insets. I need to actually make those. I'll probably make those in Maya again. And then make those along with updating the doors we currently have to make the dimensions work a little bit better. Other than being at work pretty good. Awesome. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well myself. Just been super busy. With the kids lately. End of school and then my kids spend the summer with their mother, so it's like everyone wants to hang out with them before they leave. And then my youngest is graduating to middle school, so there's all sorts of like celebratory things that the school's been doing. So I've just been like running around a lot lately, but other than that, it's been pretty good here. And not that that wasn't good, it's just busy. Alright, so... Hey Zukin, how's it going? So some of this stuff might end up happening initially. And I'm going to have to go through and cut holes and stuff in the terrain. Because if I just delete this one right now, you can see there's going to be issues. If you guys were watching Sean's stream yesterday, there's sometimes you get this little weird black flicker. That's actually from our terrain. So if you're watching my streams or Sean's streams as we're moving around and doing stuff in Night Harbor, that is where that's going to be coming from. And it's something that's easy enough to fix. When I export it out, bring it back in as an FBX, it won't do that. But until that point, as we're working on it, there's going to be no point in fixing it. Oh, man. I'm finding hiccups. That's what I get for scarfing down my lunch right before stream. The kid hustle. Minus 22. So that phase is over. Yeah, I've got a couple more years of that. But it's fun at the same time. It was funny because Monday they did a like a party at this place that we ended up going to over the weekend. My son wanted to do something like zip lining or something along those lines. So there's a place by us that has like rope course and zip line and climbing walls and stuff like that. So we took him, and then his school had a party there as well. So he got to go twice in like a couple days. My oldest son was a little jealous, but okay. So minus that, this is working pretty well. I know the concepts, a lot of Goblin's concepts don't have stairs, but this is how I've been kind of dealing with if there's a weird kind of gap. I'll just do a little step there. Delete those. Oh, man. And I'm gonna put in some of these recesses for stall, like market stalls, to see how this aesthetic is working. We'll probably end up needing to get some textures on here fairly soon to actually like really test if we like how it looks. Again, we're trying to avoid having to model every like pot and stuff like that. And let me bring up Pure Ref. So we want a lot of color. We've talked about that in the past. I think it's this one. Yes, it's this. Hold on, let me move this over here. You know, kind of wanting to hit on a lot of these colors and you know, bright colors from cloth and like spices and stuff like that. But we don't want to necessarily model each and every one of these. We want to kind of keep that old school aesthetic where a lot of it ends up being kind of textures. At least that's what the initial idea is going to be. So when I model these in right now, I'm not going to worry too much about them excuse me, being like each shelf individually modeled or pushed all the way back. I think what I'm going to do is give it a little bit of a lip for the shelf, but then the shelf itself will have textures and stuff in there. Or planes with images on them is kind of the idea. And it's one of those things, like, if we don't like the way this ends up looking, I can easily just keep pushing that back and turn these into actual full-fledged, like, shelves and stuff that we can put, you know, stuff on. Paydas, powerful, amazing designer, architect, schemer. And then this one looks kind of like a window. So let's try making that a window. Let's try playing around with that shape, because I have not done that shape before. So I'm kind of curious whether or not I can do it easily enough in Pro Builder. And whoa, that is really overlapping. I'm surprised the entire scene didn't go to a black screen, because that should be over here. How did that even happen? Okay, I'm really confused there, because I didn't merge that. Alright. Makes me a little nervous, but whatever. Yeah, it's one of those days. Yeah, I've just been running around all day. I'm probably going to be cutting today's stream a little shorter than normal. To get some stuff ready to hang out with the boys this afternoon. Since it's the last night they are in town before they spend the summer at their mom's. Why is this being so weird? Oh, how did that... I must have missed grabbing that one. Okay. I really need to clean this geo up. That's really driving me crazy already. But... and why is this not subdividing? What is going on? Okay, there's something funky, and I think it's with the roof. Let's delete this. No. I'm about to just revert this because I don't know what the hell is going on with this building. I guess I can attempt to just collapse all of these individually. Make sure I got hidden select on. I do. Something like that. And see if this cleans it up. Although I may have to do that in a couple spots. Let's do it here as well. Oops. Kind of looking to see if like the texture pops weirdly when I do this. That usually means there's something going on. Weird. None of these seem to be messing up. I mean, they could be, and the texture just happens to be fine. But I think it's coming from that area back here where it, like, welded itself without me actually telling it to weld. Why I'm debating just reverting. Okay. Can I add... Oops. No, that is so weird. Can I add one going that way? I can. There. I can't there. Okay. Let's revert. Okay, GitHub, what is going on? That's a first. Why is GitHub being weird? Okay. We'll do it this way. Don't save. Close GitHub. Actually, I didn't even need to open up GitHub, but I still don't know what the heck's going on with it. I will have to readjust those stairs that I adjusted in the beginning at some point, but I want to get this working first. Okay, that's fine. This one down. Oops. And then should be right there. And then give myself 2. So that's a door. That. Okay. Re-put the door in here and model the interior. Probably just one of those things where I did something out of order in the way that Pro Builder wanted it. And it's just going to be quicker to clean up by restarting it. Oops. And then this down to there. Okay. Secretly combines vertices. Yeah, I don't know why it did that. It should not have been meeting in a triangle without me telling it to. And why that one before was like way over here, that something was really, really off, and I don't know why. So let's move that. And that in. Delete the base. And we'll grab these. Come on. Let me select the whole. Here we go. Yeah, see? Worked fine that time. Weird. So it looks like that is not perfectly straight. Okay. So the window would be... Actually, you know what? I don't even need that edge. What am I doing? It would be more like this. Put that there. And let me fix the UVs on this. And this is part of the reason why I like doing UVs in Maya, because it gets weird sometimes. There we go. Let me close that so I can actually see the shape. Maybe I will need one more edge loop. Something slightly like that. And then in here, we'll need to give myself a couple more edge loops. Oops. Extrude that. And then just got to match the points up. Oops. Like so. And we should have a window. The shape isn't perfect. I may play around with that more when I bring this into Maya to clean it up, but I also think I might make this wall a half a meter as opposed to a meter, because it is a smaller building, and I've been using a meter a lot lately, but that has been because I've been doing excuse me, like city walls and stuff like that, and fortifications, which are larger, thicker walls. So it might make more sense to have some of these buildings, which are not part of this, part of the fortifications and wall structures, to be a little bit thinner, make them feel more like houses. Which is actually what I had been doing with some of the initial tests that we did before. It's just been a while at this point since I've actually worked on housing. And keep that the same. And then on here, we will let me give myself a little bit of space. This isn't going to work like I want it to. Yeah, because I'm going to snap this. Oh, I guess it kind of worked. Okay, so let's... Can I grab this edge loop? Alright, awesome. That makes my life so much easier. Sometimes Pro Builder is weird about selecting edge loops. So now I'm just going to go around this. Make these snap to half a meter. And then I need to think, do I want this to how do I want this to match up with the other building? Do I want this to kind of match? Basically, do I want, when because I'm going to do an extrusion, so I'm going to extrude these down and then move that up so it's at a meter distance. But do I want to have a weird lip like that, or do I want this to butt right up against that building? And also, I kind of want to play around with this edge now that I took another look at it. Yeah, that's more the angle that I'm looking for. I don't know. Suppose I could snap that to the edge. Because lazy. I'm thinking about turning this into an access point from this other building, though. So I kind of want to get rid of it. So then... But I may have just caused a overlap there. I did. So I just need to move this there. Make sure I didn't overlap my window weirdly. So now I can have a doorway from that building onto this roof. And now let's make some of these kind of parapet turret type. Structures on the top here. And I'm just gonna kind of add these down the edge. Oops. Just to double the value of that property. Some of these properties may end up being player housing, so once we figure out exactly 100% how we want to handle that, I know when me and Ali had talked about it briefly a couple months back, when I just had started the rebuild of this, the idea was to... Oh shoot, that was not what I wanted to do. The idea was to, excuse me, leave a lot of these buildings more on the empty side, so that if we decide, hey, we want these to be player housing, the players can decorate them essentially. So I won't be doing a whole lot of set dressing on these, at least initially. That may come back later as a modification on how we want to do things. And I may end up going in and oh shoot, hold on. Let's just do it this way. May end up going back in there and decorating some of them. Ones that we decide, hey, this one is going to be more of an NPC structure. This one is going to be more of a player structure, and kind of go from there. But we'll see where we land. Is that... Oh, these ones are off. I'm like, why is that not snapped correctly? So move this right there. And we'll add in. Nice thing about this is they're kind of dropping them in right where I want them, just because of the way it's spaced. So that is awesome. A little bit of a time saver. Except for this one, it's going to make my life more difficult. Let's Drop one there, and then fix this edge, and then probably go back and redirect an edge on the other side once I have this fixed. That edge loop. If you guys put in player housing, please try to make it item placement full 6 degrees like Star Wars Galaxy used to be. Making new stuff out of other stuff was always fun. Yeah, that part we haven't exactly talked about. I think Ali has some ideas of what he wants to do for player housing, but I'm all for that type of customization where you can rotate and place and stick things next to something else to kind of create, build something out of something else, and kind of kit bash. So I'm all for that if we can get a system like that up and running. But that is not something that I will be assisting with directly in terms of building that system. That would not, you wouldn't want me building that system. I could maybe do something like that in Unreal with like construction blueprints, but I definitely could not do that with C#. And the the Unreal one, I don't know if it would be all that solid, to be completely honest. But that's why I'm not a programmer. Okay, so that's that edge looks good. Oops, hold on, I forgot this one. Hey, Golden Gloves. How's it going? Just a whisper in the ear for later. Yeah, definitely, we like hearing everyone's ideas and thoughts on things, so cannot hurt to give suggestions or things like that. I wish I had played Star Wars Galaxies before the new combat experience, or whatever it was called. I always thought it was cool, the stuff I heard about it, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I couldn't afford at that time to pay for multiple MMOs, so I did not want to sacrifice my Ranger that I had spent so much time on at that point to jump ship to another game. I'm trying to think of the next game I hopped to. Might have probably was WoW, but I didn't play WoW super I didn't try to get like super high or end game. I think live wise I only got to maybe the 30s, 40s, maybe. But honestly, I don't think it was the 40s. I think it was more. In lines with the like mid-20s. But I did play a bunch of emulated WoW back in the day. Ooh, I messed up the stuff down here. Let's fix that before this becomes an issue. But I think the next game I got serious with was probably Lotro. Which was a fun game back in the day. But yeah, I messed up a lot of these side ones. Hey, Rai, how's it going? Yeah, I played from launch until the combat update. Couldn't stand it after that. Yeah, it didn't... All the stuff that I'd heard about it, and I played a little bit of the emulator, but when I tried the emulator, it was so early in the emulator's, like, life cycle, it wasn't complete, and I have gone through the steps to, like, start the emulator again. I think I did it during lockdown. I downloaded it, started setting it up, and then was like, and then got it, like, distracted by other stuff. But I kind of like the idea, you know, the permadeath for the Jedi characters, and the Jedi were super hard to get, and stuff like that. I thought that was a cool way of emulating what is actually, you know, going on in Star Wars lore at that time, where any Jedi does not want to be seen, because they don't want to be killed off. I was heavy into Meridia 59 private server around when Star Wars Galaxies came out. After getting burnt out on EQ for so many years, kind of bummed I miss the Star Wars Galaxies experience. Yeah, I'm definitely bummed I missed out on that. I also had a weird kind of, like, I don't know, like EQ purist, like, mentality when it came to other MMOs around that time. I was like, who wants to play another MMO? Because, you know, EverQuest is the best one. That type of thing. I was weird. I don't know why. It was a really weird, kind of elitist mindset now that I think about it. But okay, so here's where I'm going to redirect these. I guess I'm just going to end up having to add an extra one here. Actually, you know what? In reality, I don't even really have to worry. I don't know why I'm worrying about this. Hold on. Let's delete that. And then I'm just going to use a plane. Because unfortunately, some of the, again, Pro Builder is really helpful for what we're doing, but also some of the limits make me do things like in ways I probably wouldn't have done them normally had I had all the functionality that I'm used to if I'm using like Maya. But this will get me to what I want without me having to worry about all of those building up all those edges. And then we'll just make sure that these two, so plane one and that, plane one will be attached to that. Agreed on Star Wars Galaxies. The combat update really felt like we weren't making enough money. Let's dumb it down to get more casuals move. Yeah, and that's one of those things that, like, to me, has kind of sucked the soul out of a lot of games in the genre over the last, you know, like, decade or decade and a half at this point. Which is sad. Everyone tries to, you know, conform to whatever is the new great thing as opposed to, like, trying to stand out on their own. Which I get it. I mean, trying to make money, but at the same time, I really like the idea of making a good game. Shouldn't feel as weird to say in the industry as it does nowadays. To adjust that. Oops, see another one. And clicked on the wrong spot. All right. That is, oops. Star Wars Galaxies, hands down, had the best harvesting trade skill mechanic of any MMO, and I think that I missed that the most. I don't even think I touched the trade skills during my limited time playing. Unfortunately. But, I don't know, was that overhauled with the combat? I honestly do not remember hearing if it had been or hadn't been. Yeah, that got overhauled too. That stinks. Trying to get this selection. Oh, come on. Sometimes I swear part of 3D is just half the work is just trying to get it to select the stuff that you want to select without selecting other stuff. So, what character or what class did you primarily play in Star Wars Galaxies? Well, these are supposed to have these overhangs, so I'm guessing these are more are they triangular shaped? But why is there... Oh. The Mist soundtrack got to the end and it just started playing some random video. Let's go to a different playlist. Actually, no. Now it's just playing Riven. That's fine. Okay, so these in this image are... I need to kind of like spatially think of how I can get it to look similar to that. So these would probably need to be flat. They're either going to be flat here and then go to a triangular shape, which would mean they'd lose parts at the edge, or this is going to be almost kind of like a chunk of a pyramid. Oh man, there's a bug I think in Maya 2023 where you can't use insert edge loop tool until you actually select an edge. So damn frustrating. I have not run into that one, but admittedly I haven't done a ton of work in Maya 2023. I've been mostly using Pro Builder, but I have done a couple things. I ran into a couple weird, like, just settings things that I had to work around. The thing that drives me nuts in Maya, and I don't know why all of my Maya is doing this now, and if you know how to fix this, I'd love to know. But while that's popping up, I'll keep working on this. But going to like an ortho view, I can't see all of the edges or the edge loops or the vertices, and it drives me insane. And I cannot get the camera settings working correctly on it. Absolutely frustrating. But yeah, I have not run into the edge loop one. All the harvest nodes were random, invisible spawns. You had to scan for it. Turned each resource, wheat, or had a random quality. So if you searched enough, you could actually make better items than other people. Oh, awesome. That is fun. That is cool. I used to be able to just select the edge tool and go. Yeah, that's how I remember it working. I don't remember running into an issue with it like that. Had to do a bunch of extra clicks now. Yeah, to use a simple tool. Yeah, I don't understand why Adobe's worse at it, but like, why change things that don't need to be changed to make things more complicated? It doesn't. Oh, you know what? I know why I haven't noticed it. I switched over to using the multi-cut tool as opposed to using the edge loop tool. So that's why I didn't notice it. Let me see if I can get it to do what I've been talking about real quick. So let's scale this up, and oh, of course you're not going to do it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, at a certain point, it just like will cut. Oh, it's not doing it. Yeah, it's got some weird clipping thing, and I cannot get rid of it, and it drives me crazy. So, like, apparently it's doing it there. So if I do this one up, yeah, that drives me insane. Maybe it's the... Is it just the height? Local scale... Yeah, this thing drives me absolutely insane. Yeah, because I've played with the far clip plane. I think I've done near clip plane. I've reset this a couple times trying to fix it, and it does it on all my computers. And it was doing it in 2022 also. It was driving me absolutely mad. Oh, weird. Is the scene too large? Could it be a camera view distance thing? That's really odd. Yeah, I don't... The settings are the same settings I've been using for, you know, over a decade. And it's just been doing that lately, and it drives me absolutely crazy. So there's some setting, and it might be just like where the camera is in the scene. Oh, maybe that's it. Hold on. Was it that easy? Hold on. Can I default that? Because that would save me so much heartache. Yeah, okay. Figured that out. Life's better. I just need to figure out how to set that by default. Camera. I'll figure that part out later. But yeah, that just made my life. I can't believe I didn't think of that before. But let me see about the edge loop tool. Edit or mesh, insert edge loop. It looks like I'm going to disable this to kind of click and drag in. But I've been using the multi-cut tool for a while now. And just hold down control and it gives you the edge loop. And then you can hold shift and it'll snap it to wherever you like on a 10% basis. And if you just hold shift, you can see where the middle is. So I started using that over using the edge loop tool. I don't know, probably 3-4 years ago. Takes a minute to get like used to remembering it, but it's so like even just the little measurements is so nice. But yeah, just multi-cut, hold down control, gives you a full edge loop, and then you can, you know, jump into whatever kind of cutting you want to do normally. Yeah, definitely take a look at it. It you know, it probably took me a day or so to like get the muscle memory to do it. But it's a huge time saver, in my opinion, because you don't have to use like, you know, jump to edge loop, jump to the cut tool, to do the different things. You just use the same tool and do whatever operation you want, and that the percentage cutting is so nice. And then I come in here to use Pro Builder, and I just smash my head against the cut tool. Hey everyone, just connected. What are we working on today? Hi, the General. Welcome to chat. Today I am working on some of the new structures that I've roughed out in our market area, and I'm just kind of playing around with some of the ideas that are in some of the concepts that Goblin has done over the past few months, and some of the more recent stuff as well, which is these. So I'm just kind of starting to play around with some of these buildings because I'm liking the feel of this area, but adding in some more stuff. So the idea for these buildings is they'll have kind of little market stalls in front of them, And then there'll be more, you know, kind of traditional market stalls that are, you know, tables or stands and stuff with overhanging. But I know we've talked about, and we haven't settled 100% again on what player housing is how player housing is going to work, but we've, you know, talked about potentially like trade skill housing and you know, housing that's in and around the market could potentially be market stalls and stuff like that. So that's the potential of what this is. Now, stuff like this, our idea is to be very EQ esque in the way we treat some of the like stuff that's gonna be on the walls and stuff. So let me go hop into like Freeport or something. And let's find something. Is there a bar in here? I'm trying to remember where I'm at. Oh, it's the militia house. Is there a bar in this inn? It's so long since I've run around in the classic Freeport zone. Come on. Of course, I'm not going to find what I'm looking for. But in the bookshelves. If I can find a bookshelf. Sorry, I'm probably making you guys like sick with this camera. The camera speed in the Lantern viewer is so absurdly fast. And I do not. If there is a way to actually like edit the camera speed, I do not know it. Come on, bookshelf. There we go. So a lot of it's just kind of images. So a lot of these might end up being images. We like the idea of, you know, having lots of color and stuff like that. But like, you know, if we were to say, instance, doing these jars would essentially be images that are on planes that are kind of put into those individual spots, is the idea. We haven't gotten around to actually testing that yet. So I'm kind of just building in these little recesses here, and then we'll add in, whoops. Add in shelving. That's not going to be super, you know, it's not going to have a ton of depth to it. And then we can add the images in. And if it turns out it's not something we don't like that look and we want to add more actual full 3D models, it'll be easy enough to just push this wall back a little bit more or pull this part forward and make these like full-on shelves. So it'll be a little bit of an experiment on does the idea hold up or does it not. So we'll see. But that is primarily what I've been working on today. My stream's going to run a little shorter than it normally does. I'll probably get it off in about 40-ish minutes, maybe a little less. But something like that. Although this is probably way higher than I'm expecting it to be. Yeah, something like that. Hop back to chat. I like that a lot. Actually, it reminds me of Max Loop's tool. Yeah, I'm wondering if that was the inspiration. It's been forever since I used Max, but I know over the years Maya has slowly kind of adopted some of the more Max-like tools, like the good ones at least. Just found out about Eminem a week ago. Watching all progress. Awesome. Well, welcome to the welcome to the stream, and I'm glad you're liking the VODs and stuff so far. Wishing I could give a /loc because there's a tent area by the Monk Guild. You're talking about when I was flying around. Loads of outdoor objects. I think you're referencing to. Yeah. The day has begun. Hey, Redigar, how's it going? Sorry I missed the first hour. Nope, no problem. My stream's actually going to, like I said, is going to be a little shorter today. I've got some stuff going on with the kids later, so I'm going to hang out with them. I'm going to attach all of these to this. So we'll just leave those there. And again, what these will probably be is images, either modeled and baked onto planes, similar to how I was doing the bookshelf, which I need to actually finish, but we got into all this other stuff that was more pressing, like level design stuff, as opposed to kind of art tests. But probably have some modeled, like potentially like pottery, or again, I know Sean and Ali like the idea of like the spices and stuff like that. Some of that stuff will be more modeled, and I've actually made some of those models already. They just haven't never been seen on stream. The textures are not done on them. But I one of the first things I did long ago was work on some market ideas when I was working on these buildings. And then the feedback was we want to try to keep a lot of that negative space without over modeling stuff. Let me see if I can find any of these pictures. So yeah, I was modeling with our little capsule people. But it was starting, and you can see like, bags and, bowls with kind of different levels of detail, to see how rounded we'd potentially want, things like that. And then I hadn't cleaned up any of this geo, so there's a ton of edge loops that don't really need to be there. But there was that one, and that one, and then this one. And I'd also already kind of used the texture that Marie had made to kind of texture the bag real quickly. But it kind of played around with it, but it was feeling a little busy. So we haven't actually brought any of that in. Love your creativity. You're really bringing Eminem to life. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay. There's going to be some flickering and stuff right here. That'll get cleaned up. Eventually, a lot of this ground is going to get cut up again. And there'll be some more of those kind of plank-based walkways eventually. So I'm not worried too much about the Z fighting for the moment, except I am worried about this because I did not mean to grab that. So, and I'm selecting multiple spots again. There we go. So that will eventually be fixed. Actually, I could probably fix it real quickly just by nudging that down slightly. There we go. I may have opened up a hole somewhere. Nope, we're good. But there'll be some weird funky stuff like that as I'm kind of going around and building out some of these structures. You know, and the insides are going to be very empty. This, you know, could easily have like a walled off area right here or a little bit further back. So there's like almost like a shop area. And then, you know, more of like a private area. Some areas I'll work more into. Some areas will just be kind of quick experiments. But I want to get a lot of this stuff kind of more, you know, like figured out in terms of like how the navigation's going to go. So like, you know, kind of like how the roof of this building is kind of, I don't know if it's like a guard post or, you know, something like that. But it kind of gives, you know, nice kind of overview and overlooks the areas of our market as is. And you know, that's to say, this whole area could end up getting. We could decide we don't like it like this, so we want to try something different. But this has also been a kind of an experiment on how some of this more sprawl like stuff will feel and look, and you know, kind of setting up some nice little points of view in the process, kind of shady back areas and stuff like that. If only it was this easy to fix a real house. Welcome to the stream, John. NS. And welcome Stoughton. That's called Z fighting. Love it. Yeah, so that flicker you saw back over here, which I fixed, is called Z fighting. And the reason it's called Z fighting is essentially you have two planes. So, do I have another color sticky note? I do. Okay. Let's use one that's not got stuff on it. If I could use my fat fingers to actually do something. But anyways, so I've got two. Of course, this is green, so the green screen's going to be weird with it. But essentially, if these are if two planes in 3D are landing on top of each other in depth, so the Z pass for the depth, the graphics card doesn't know which of the faces are on top because they're literally sitting on top of each other and they're parallel with each other. So the graphics card will render one side and then the other, and it'll just kind of fight back and forth. So whenever in a game you see that weird flicker, that's two faces that are right on top of each other, and the graphics card has no idea which one should be on top. So they're fighting in that Z depth pass to render on top of each other. Any plans to put secret hidden away in places? You know, things might just get forgotten to tell the rest of the team about. Yes, I have a plan for kind of a fun little thing for the proof of concept when we are kind of getting more people in. I'll have more details about that later. But I do have plans for something in the future. That will be fun for everybody. This is really cool. Secret areas to some sewer ruins. Oh yeah, there's going to be those type of secrets too. So again, this whole area is go back to my concepts real quick. Taking in some inspiration from some of Goblin's earlier market ideas. So again, kind of these, you know, these shapes. I need to kind of build these out still, but you know, with the little recesses in the fronts of the buildings for market stalls and little kind of tables and stalls and stuff like that. But below, or some of the streets are going to be made up of these planks that are actually going to be on top of some old ruins. Actually, you know what? Let's show you guys, for people that are newer And by newer, I mean probably in the last, like, 3 or 4 months. It's been a while since any of us have gone down there on stream. I'll show you some of the original stuff we were playing around with when we were trying to get some ideas on look and feel before we had the idea of the layout. Of what the new layout was going to be. So let's run around some of these older spots so you guys can get some ideas of some of the secrets and stuff like that. So anybody who's played recently might recognize, or not, has been around for a while might recognize some of these. Let's go with human scale. Oh, you know what? That was probably a bad decision. I think I'm having... Oh, no, I'm not having loading issues. Slash zone... Shaded dunes. Sounds dope. You don't want to know anything else? Sounds amazing. Good, because I'm not... That's as much as you guys are getting out of me. If I say too much, it ruins the fun later. But I do have some plans. Whether these things would stay around until the full release, I don't know. But I do have some plans for when testing is around. So this is the older city. If anybody has never seen it, this is some of the first models I did. I reworked the old ones that I think Ali had originally done. And you'll see them throughout, like, this one's in our marketplace. These ones without the second story are being used as stable, and things like that. But some of these are being utilized in the city. But these were some of the first things I did when I first got on the team back in September. And then over here... Oh, and the sun's coming up. Good timing. Is some of the areas that I'd been playing around with and testing. These were based off of, again, some of Goblin's concepts. If I could find the concept. Here we go. So it was specifically based off of this one. Let's try on the fly for a minute. Oops, that was not what I wanted to do. Go away. You can see kind of the inspiration right here. You know, got that building, got kind of split level stuff going on, and then I was trying some other experiments and stuff like that. Some of this stuff you'll start to see as we get further and further into. Some of this might actually end up in the marketplace area, but a lot more in the tier 2 areas. You'll start seeing some more of that kind of stuff. And then over here this is actually been used a couple times, so some of you may have seen this. I haven't ran around inside of it in a while, but these are some, again, kind of sprawling tier 2 buildings. And then you can see down here, we've got kind of the ruins beneath the the planks. And essentially it's just old streets that have been kind of covered over and been built up on top of. And then if you walk over here, to actually, if you want to get under there, you would have to kind of click on here. You're in this kind of storage room. This box looks a little weird, suspicious. You click on it, and it's a secret space. Let's turn off fly. And then it would bring you down into this kind of smaller dungeon area. And originally, when I was doing this, because we want to hide content inside cities, this was kind of just a test of how small a little content area could fit into something. And it was originally fairly small. This area didn't go down quite as much, and it was just this room over here. But it fit in a really, really tiny space initially. Let's see. Come on. Did something break on this? It's been a while since I've been on this. Did that break? It might have broken. Oh, there we go. Initially, it all fit inside just this space right here. There was no hole cut in the terrain to go beneath it. So it's locked in. I got out. I was about to do the GM collision trick, but yeah. So kind of like a little like smuggler's den type area, I guess. And then you can come over here, and there's some more stuff. And it's kind of playing around with like what like camp areas could potentially be. So this is kind of like a bathhouse, I guess. So like there'd be essentially like a plane of water in here, ideally. Never got around to putting that in. And then there's this broken wall, and it would go into this old kind of like temple complex. Ooh, I forgot that there was characters added in some of these spots. Oh yeah, this is the robed cultist who's obviously not robed. And then it goes into this hole that still makes my stomach drop moving across. This whole area that you'd have to kind of walk over here to drop down safely, or you'd die falling down. And then you're in this kind of cave system. And this was just kind of playing around with how he wanted to do caves. So this is a little bit more like six-sided. This gets into a little bit more of like the really classic EverQuest feel, where it's really just very box modeled. So very vertical walls, maybe a little slant here and there. That type of stuff. There's not a whole lot of extra detail in the walls. Then kind of climb back up here, and then this area over here, I think it was like 8 or 9 or 8 to 10 sided, something like that. This was just kind of a little bit more sculpting to the wall. The walls aren't triangulated, so they look really kind of funky right now, and they're not smooth in the areas they should be. But to get to the ruined area, kind of have to go up here. I think this would be cool to have kind of like that slippery ground. That tiling got broken. And then he would walk you over here where you could break into the kind of lower level of this area. And some of these buildings are, like the sand's pouring in. They're collapsing. This area, like here, is an old balcony, but it's because we're actually above street level. So this would have been a balcony. Can run around. And you can see into these other areas. And unless you're a gnome, because I think the gnome can actually fit in there. We didn't have the actual gnome model when I did this. And you can still see this is rough. I didn't get around to finishing these areas. You could get down into these sewers for this old ruin. Which the sewers, like if we... the sewers are going to be treated differently. We actually have lore reasons on like what the sewers are going to be. So those will end up being different eventually. And then if you... Oops. Almost went the wrong way. Come over here. You can go through the invisible wall. Or not the invisible wall, but the fake wall. That doesn't have collision in the one spot to get into this area. So you could have like mobs in here that you'd need to kind of figure out to go through that. Which when I had this textured at one point, I don't know why the textures broke on this, but again, I haven't been in this zone. I haven't been touching this in months at this point. You couldn't tell, but now you can tell there's something funky with this wall because the scale is so big. But yeah, so definitely want to think about that. There's also some secrets already in the new Night Harbor, but I'm refraining from showing those things on stream. This type of stuff I liked to show because I wanted to show like ideas and like how I want to treat stuff, but I don't want to show you guys all of the secrets as I build stuff because then they're not secrets and you guys don't have the fun of exploring that stuff. So potentially some of you might have like eagle eyes and catch stuff here and there on stream, but I will not be actively showing all of the secrets on stream. But to kind of go back to the level design of this place, to get out of here, because you can't get up there, you'd have to kind of go back up and fight your way up this way. Again, some of this floor looks really funky because it's not triangulated. And then you get up into here, and there's this area with the light kind of spilling out on the ceiling that you can drop through this broken ceiling, and it brings you back into that kind of this room looked a little too temple-y. I needed to fix that, but it brings you back into this area that like thieves or smugglers were kind of turning this cave into a into a, you know, I don't know, I don't want to say fortress, but like underground lair, I guess. And then we're back up to the ladder out, which is, can I... Something changed. I don't know if it's our character collision. Something changed in the last couple months. I'm not sure what it was that did that, but yeah. So that's some older stuff that I've been playing around with. I was also in this area playing around with like the doors. We got those working. So I was playing around with that, playing around with some of the furniture I had made during my Christmas break. And starting to get the feel of how like a little section of Night Harbor could potentially feel. And then we head over here. We had a little inn here with the little rooms and the little innkeeper room. Kind of little dining area over here. And then down here was like a tavern. And then this was kind of playing around with like gnome scale, which our gnomes are actually smaller than these guys. They changed. These are some of the older gnomes. So anybody who has never seen those were some of the original gnomes we were playing around with. But you can see humans can't get in there unless I cast shrink. Let me go back to... Yeah, no kidding. This is incredible. Awesome design. Oh, thanks. Good Lord, it's huge down there. Yeah, there was a lot. It came together pretty quickly. Those smaller, like the dungeon areas like that come together really quickly. It's the city sprawl type stuff that takes forever to do. But so like gnome stuff. Again, our gnomes change scale, so this actually would need to be dropped down a little bit to actually feel like a working gnomish sized structure. But little gnome things. I also want to play around with the idea of like gnomes potentially, like gnomes and halflings maybe like overtaking, you know, like human sized structure. So like maybe adding like floors and stuff and turning like what would be like a smaller human house into a like gnomish mansion or halfling mansion. I think that could be a cool thing to play around with. So, but yeah, for anybody who hadn't seen that, I haven't ran around in there in forever. But some of those elements will start to come into the newer Night Harbor as I can build into more of the city areas. Like I said, there are some secret areas in the New Night Harbor already. I haven't even informed the team of all of them yet. There's not a ton. I have ideas for more, but I just need more of the actual like connection points to actually like build how the secrets are going to be navigated and stuff like that. But for anybody who hasn't really seen the city is huge. I mean, this area itself could probably be a zone at this point, by itself. And I still have other work to do in here. I just don't like this tower needs some stuff going on in it. This tower needs stuff going on in it. This bottom area here needs more warehouse stuff going on in it. This needs more stuff going on in it. So there's a whole, like this one has stuff going on in it, but it needs another floor down here to connect to there. So there's a whole bunch of other stuff that needs to happen, but I'm trying to kind of spread out to areas that are needed for more gameplay testing spaces. If you guys were watching Sean's stream yesterday, he was starting to move NPCs around to the areas where they're actually going to be, or at least right now, where we think they're going to be. Again, everything you guys are seeing on these is subject to change. We can, again, be like, okay, we don't want the market to feel like this. We want to, expand it more, or, Goblin was saying his idea was actually to have this kind of extend the entire distance of that, and kind of wall in the market a little bit more, like the main portion of it, so that we might try that. But this is part of you guys getting to see kind of a little bit of everything in the process as we kind of go around and kind of try some different things with that. Huge in there. I can only imagine how much fun it is to design, create this kind of level. I love the scenario / gameplay builds in Arma 3, but this is nuts. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, especially for me. Again, the dungeon type stuff is a lot of fun, because I can be really more free form and stuff with it. Like Worm's Bane here came together initially pretty quickly. I stopped tracking the hours I was doing on this, unfortunately, but the initial pass on it was a couple hours, or it was like a day. I did the initial rough pass on this in 7 hours, 7.5 hours, something like that. And then for a while I'd only put 20 hours into it after throwing in a basic lighting pass and a basic texture pass and stuff. I put some more hours into it. We've made some edits. We've added in some extra areas and stuff like that, just to give more mob density to be able to support more players. And potentially, we may even add in more areas. We'll see. And done some, initial prop passes that obviously need a lot more detail and stuff to them, but just starting to fill out the space more and more. So this guy, this statue kind of represents the deity a little bit better than it is, and I need to eventually bring this into Maya and get a texture pass on it as well. But yeah, so this kind of stuff for me comes together pretty quickly. I can be a little bit more freeform, especially if I have specific, I need this, I need X, Y, and Z in the zone. I can kind of get to there real quick. The cities, though, there's a whole bunch of different things. You need to think about all the different angles and where the POIs are going to be and stuff like that. So, oh yeah, we appreciate that. Don't want to know the secrets. Yeah, definitely. Want you guys to have some fun exploring and trying to find some of the stuff that I'm hiding around. Feed poor human. Leave those random leave those in random places for the creepiness factor. Looking great. Can't wait to play it. But just as much fun watching you make it. Awesome. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. It's always fun to be able to interact with the community as we're building it. Get some feedback. See what things are working, what aren't working. It's definitely a different way to approach development, but I've really enjoyed it so far. I may even do something more like split level, or maybe this still might go straight, or like get to a flat balcony, but I might play around with something like that too. When designing dungeons, like how many groups are you designing for? The whole could support like 15 groups in EQ. Guck and Seb, probably the same. So that dungeon itself, right now, if I had to guess, could probably support 4, maybe 5 groups. I think we'll probably expand it out more. And higher level dungeons will probably want to support closer to like the Hole and Seb and stuff like that. Right now, it's designed for as a lobby dungeon, and we may even expand it at some point where there's a lobby area and a more high end mid game area, something like that. But we have to dial in. We have to dial in a couple things. So we have to dial in the progression rate in terms of experience. How long is it going to take to progress? We still are, I think, tuning the combat a bit since we did the stat crunch a month or 2 ago. So getting the time to kill where we want it, getting how long we want the levels to last will also determine how long, like how many groups will be in there. So if it's a faster progression, which is not what we're aiming for, it would support, like the groups would be moving through it more quickly, so there wouldn't be the need to support more groups. Part of the reason we added in some more of those spaces was to add more mobs to the zone quickly to allow for the ability to support more groups. I think Nick's also talked about about having the respawn on mobs being a little bit faster than EverQuest. So at that point, if you're comparing it to like EQ, you wouldn't have to have as many mobs in the zone, I guess, to support more groups, because groups would kind of reach that critical mass of mobs faster than EverQuest with a slower respawn. So we're balancing and kind of playing around with some things. I also think once we are able to get some of you guys from the community in testing with us, we'll learn a little bit more about that type of stuff. Like, if we have 100 or 200 people on the server, how is the balancing feeling? Okay, is this working? Is it not? So there's going to be things we're going to learn more and more and more as we add more and more people into the environment. And then we can kind of dial in those numbers where do we want to be in terms of full support. If the zone is completely jam-packed of people, how many groups are we thinking of supporting? So again, kind of a test dungeon. Fallen Watch, which you can't see because I think I deleted it out of this version, which is going to be a dungeon off Shaded Dunes over here, is going to be a little bit higher end of a dungeon, or a more mid-term. And I believe there's another, I forget the name of it, there's another dungeon we have over here that I think is a little bit more high-end. So we'll be building out some extra dungeon spaces. to play around with as well. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, great. That was my next question. If respawn would be varied by zone, and potentially as long as they were in EQ. Yeah, agreed there. Yeah, so there are some things, like we have ideas for things, but again, some of that stuff will be dialing in as we get more and more data, and really kind of lock in on that experience and the pacing and all of that. But we have ideas and stuff like that. We just don't have like hard numbers at the moment. Okay, so it's kind of towards the end of the time that I wanted to run this one. Again, sorry, I'm running a little bit shorter of a stream tonight or this afternoon. My stream Friday might be a TLP playing around on Viniki. I might be finishing leveling my shaman box with my ranger, and doing some VT sharding at the same time. Or if I'm feeling really creative, I might just hop in and do more market gray boxing. Oh my god, why does it every time at the end of a stream I start getting hiccups from talking so fast? Oh, excuse me. Let's see. Zukin banned somebody. I'm guessing that first time chat was a bot seller. We don't like bot sellers here. So, for anybody who's new to the stream and is not aware of what we are doing, we are making an indie MMO that is very influenced by that kind of classic first generation of MMORPGs. And we're a small team. There's 11 of us, and we're currently in the process of building a proof of concept. If you'd like to learn more, thanks, Yukin. If you'd like to learn more, click on the link in the chat. We also have a Discord server that has like 1,020-ish people now in it, which is awesome. Finally, we broke the threshold earlier this week. That with the last update we put up. If you'd like to stay up to date, make sure you subscribe to the mailing list. Oh, good. Thanks, Sukin. Also, if you are an animator that's interested in working on the project, we do currently have a opening that we posted. I believe it's posted both in Discord and on our site. That we are looking for a 3D character artist, or not character artist, character animator. Zukin would be our character artist. Take a look at it if you're interested. And then I believe you have to shoot a demo reel or a link to a demo reel over to Sean and Ali. And they will kind of talk to you a little bit about that, and we'll see where that goes. So definitely interested to see some people that are passionate animators that would love to join the team. And then what else we got? We got other streamers like Zukin here in chat that stream various aspects of the game. Again, I'm very level design and environment art oriented. And primarily been doing a lot of streaming in this zone over the past couple months, as we've been rebuilding our city, and kind of, again, this is a gigantic city. There's so much, so much to this area. This is super rough stuff, and so is this. But the main focus is this area currently, and then we'll expand into this area. And those are the areas that are really supporting, what am I saying? Supporting kind of like the beginner player experiences and stuff like that. And then somewhat over into the docks areas too. But trying to hit like where the classes are starting and that type of stuff is kind of priority before we start building up into these areas. So yeah, been doing that. But yeah, make sure to throw all of them follows if you haven't already. Everybody kind of streams their own thing. And yeah, go from there. And then if you want to get caught up on past VODs, and I know I've been saying this for like 2 weeks, I have to get all my VODs up there. I've been so bad. I apologize, guys. I will spam you all probably tomorrow with a bunch of new VODs from the past week or past 2.5 weeks, something like that. I've been really bad at that, so I apologize. But if you are watching on our YouTube channel, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below, and all of that to help us out with the algorithm to get out the game out, the word of the game out to more people. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. If you are on YouTube and you wanted to participate in the live chats, somewhere in my description below this video should be a link to my Twitch account. Throw it a follow. And you should get notified when I go live. And you can feel free to hop in the chat. I love hearing from all the team. We love hearing from people and engaging with the community. It's part of the reason why we're doing this kind of as an open development. So you guys can tell us things that are working, things that aren't working as we're going along. So yeah, thank you for that. My streams currently are Monday night at 8 p.m., Wednesdays at 1 p.m., and then Friday mornings between my start times are like it's either going to be 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. I haven't locked in on it. It'll probably jump around. I apologize. But somewhere in that area, that Friday stream will kind of, depending on how I feel, if I'm feeling creative, I might hop into here. If I feel like I just need to play some video games, I might hop on the TLP and play around. Like I said, I might be VT sharding and leveling up my box at the same time. So, but yeah. Was there anything else I wanted to say? Oh, I did want to mention was it next week? No. Next week, my times will be the same as normal. The following week, so the 20th, that week and the following week after that, I will probably only be doing evening streams, so probably just have them all start at 8 p.m. I have a 2-week college course that I'm teaching, so I will not be free during the day to stream. And if I was, I'd be in a very noisy computer lab with not great lighting and all of that. So, and echoey and stuff like that. So I will not be streaming from that, and not reliable Wi-Fi at times. So, all right, I need to get going. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And I will see you guys on Friday morning. Later.